I'm excited to bring someone to the show who I believe will eventually have her own version of a Barbie doll. And I'm excited to see it. Marjuan Canady is a Tony-nominated Broadway producer, entrepreneur, writer, performer, director, educator, and literacy advocate. She is currently a co-producer on the Broadway production of the Alicia Keys musical Hell's Kitchen, as well as co-producer of the national tour Broadway revival production of The Wiz. Marjuan is currently the lead producer and co-book writer. Look, listen, titles on titles on titles. I'm loving it. Book writer of the new musical Tap, which is in development. An accomplished playwright and stage performer. Her one-woman play Girls, Girls, Girls has been featured off-Broadway and at international festivals and theaters. Her play Callaloo, a jazz folktale, was a selected play at the 2013 Lincoln Center for Performing Arts Directors Lab. Miss Canady has held fellowships at the Mateo Ricci Society, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, the Schomburg Center for Black Research and Culture, and the Caribbean Cultural Center African Diaspora Institute. She is the founder and CEO of her multimedia production company, Sepia Works, as well as the CEO, author, and co-creator of the children's media brand Callaloo. Her work has been highlighted in international publications such as the Washington Post, Blavity, LA Times, Black Enterprise, Huffington Post, Madame Noir, and Vice. She has also worked with notable institutions such as the Kennedy Center and Sesame Street and the Smithsonian Institute, the Lincoln Center for Performing Arts, the Ryan Seacrest Foundation, the Caribbean Cultural Center, African Diaspora Institute, the Washington Nationals Youth Baseball Academy, Georgetown University, Catholic University of America, the Moscow Art Theater School, and a Negro Ensemble Company. Welcome to the show, Marjuan. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you, Omi. You read the whole bio. I love
the
it.
whole thing. Because, you know, we got to put some respect on your name. Okay? Because when I met you, when I met you, you had, at that point, you had Callaloo, and you had the children's book, and you had the characters, and you had the puppets, and you were going around you were doing shows. You were amazing then. So I'm so excited to just have seen your journey, been like a small little sliver a part of it, and like to just watch you grow and go. I'm just cheering at every step. I remember when you started with Sesame Street. I remember like all these points. You know, you had an amazing baby. You know, and I'm like, yes, go, go, go. Talk to me. How has it been? How does it feel to be you right now?
It feels great, but I'm sleepy. It feels great. I think just hearing you read my bio is just a reminder to me, and hopefully to those listening, to invest in yourself and to create your own path, because for a long time, I was on the outskirts of the mainstream industry because I was so focused on creating my own stories and my own businesses and investing in my own brands. And really, the industry pulled me in. So I think now I'm in these spaces where there are not a lot of women of color in executive roles, as well as producers in these roles that really lead these spaces. So I think now I'm coming into the space with a lot of my own expertise, I'm bringing my own teams and people that I know that can make a difference in the industry. So I'll say it's very fulfilling, and it's just a reminder to keep building your own while working in the larger industry.
I'm glad you said that. And I want to tap into that for a second, because I feel like people who are like, I'm going to build my own and kind of operate on the fringe of the industry, feel like it is the idea of working in the industry is almost like almost somewhat, I guess, degrading, or somewhat like almost like selling out or giving up, or, so like, what was that journey like for you? What caused you to make the decision to say, I built my own thing, I see how that works, and now let me actually journey deeper into the mainstream industry?
Yeah, well, I think, for many years, like you said, I was just focusing on building my brand, Callaloo Kids, and creating my own content. And I think the consistency and the quality of what I was building is what attracted um, those specifically in the Broadway space and also in the streaming space that kind of pulled me in onto that side. So I think it was a combination of, hey, I'm still doing my own thing, which I've never stopped. Although now I'm like in the Broadway space, as well as building out more in film and Hollywood now. But I think the value, those in the mainstream started to see the value and started, I've been saying the same thing. You saw me 10, 12 years ago, and I always was on the same, I had the same vision. So I think I always knew, like, yeah, I want to work in the Broadway space, in the Hollywood space, but I started off in those spaces as an actor, and I was just one of many. So I think when I removed myself and came back as a producer, as a director, as a writer, someone who had more control in the room of creating the stories, I think that's when it shifted a bit. So I definitely, I don't think you're selling out at all. It's like, hey, I deserve to be in this room. I deserve to not only be in the room, but have a voice in the room. And especially to bring the people that I want to see in the room with me.
What's the mindset shift between being the person that is being directed versus being the director?
Oh, it's amazing. I think,
Because like, what? How do you have to think now? Like, how does that feel?
yeah, I mean, I think, I'm trained as an actor. I went to Duke Ellington High School in DC, and then went on to college and grad school, and was always a performer. Excuse me. And I think when I really started working in the industry and seeing, acting, I'd say 80% of it is just a waiting game, waiting for someone to give you the right opportunity. And there's nothing wrong with that. But for me, I had so much that I wanted to do, and I consider myself a storyteller, whether it's on stage or behind the scenes. But the more that I started working behind the scenes, um, I felt so much more empowered. And I felt, now I feel even more so energized and excited about creating work more so than an actor. I love acting, it's my first love, but I think because I started off as an actor, I have an appreciation, I have an understanding, I know how to talk to performers, I know how to create a safe space as a producer, and I know how to hire people to make the thing come to life. So I think it is a shift mentally, but um, you know, I have this I have this understanding of all the roles that it takes to make the work great. So I'm very conscious of that, no matter what role I'm in.
Speaking of that, speaking of making things come to life, Alicia Keys says, I want to have a play. I want to write a play. I want to play written. I want to do this play based off of her experiences. Like, how did this even come about? How did you hear about it? How did you connect with her people? Like, tell me more about Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah, so I mean, Hell's Kitchen, Alicia has been working on this musical for over 13 years now. So it really has been her baby that she has been growing and incubating. And I mean, there's many different stages of developing a show of this magnitude. So as a co-producer, I came on, I'd say about 9 months ago, about a year ago. And co-producers, we are very special people because we're like the street ambassadors for the shows. So we do help raise money for the show. I specifically have also helped with community engagement, getting a lot of young people to the show. And being in the Broadway community, you just hear, what show is happening. Like now, I feel like every week I'm getting 3 or 4 emails of shows that are in development. Do I want to come on board? And I think for me, I want to put my time and energy and bring, the folks that come with me as a producer to shows that I believe in, that further, Black and Brown excellence on stage and in the Broadway space. So for me, this was like a no-brainer to be part of. It's such a fresh musical. I mean, it's inspired by Alicia's journey. It's a coming of age story, so it's just so inspiring for young people to come and see this. Camille Brown's choreography is fabulous. Malia Joy Moon and Keisha Lewis, they just won Tony Awards for their roles in the show. So it's been a great experience, and also like the inclusivity behind the scenes, which a lot of people don't see. There's just so much diversity on the production team, the creative team, as well as the producers. There are more Black and Brown women as producers on this production that I've ever been part of. So it's been a real honor, and I think the audiences that are coming, they're just so excited about it. I mean, a lot of the music in the show is Alicia's catalog, so I think people can recognize the music, but Adam Blackstone is our music supervisor. They have just readapted the music, so it really fits the story. So you're hearing songs like Fallen, like Girl on Fire, all of her famous music, but it really is reimagined in a different way. So it's exciting.
Hell's Kitchen was nominated for 13 Tony Awards. And you won. How many did you win?
So we won two. We won two
Okay.
for Malia won Best Actress, Best Featured Actress, and Keisha won Best Supporting Actress. So we didn't take home the big prize, Best Musical, but the show did get extended. So we are now running until, as of right now, May 2025. So, I think
Wow,
yeah. Thank
congratulations.
you. Thank you. So I think it's all about the audience, it's all about the people coming to see the work. So, it's always great to be recognized with awards, but at the end of the day, we want to see the work live. So we're hoping that the show gets even more extensions and then also comes out on tour, on a national tour.
Congratulations on the Tony nominations.
Thank you.
Did you have a goal around like I want to win one, I want to have, is your goal to be an EGOT? Like talk to me about like some of your
Oh
goal
my
like you.
gosh. Well, I mean, honestly, I never think about awards again. Like it's always fun to go to the award shows, to be recognized, to be nominated. But I will say that Whoopi Goldberg is like my person, and I know she has her EGOT. So, I love like how she's modeled her career, and starting off in theater with her one woman show and moving into film, TV. She's a host. She does voiceover work. Like I love her and how she's modeled her career. So sure, I'll take it. I'll take it
Yes,
if it
yes,
if it
yes.
comes my way.
So the Wiz, which is, a staple in Black history, you also have an opportunity. You're also a co-producer on that one as well.
Yes, yes.
What has that experience been like?
Oh, the Wiz has been great. I mean, I actually came on the Wiz, I'd say about a year and a half ago. So probably about a year before rehearsals like really started and the cast was announced. So I was with that project earlier than Hell's Kitchen. So, I got to be part of the rehearsal process. Also, we were on a national tour before we opened on Broadway this spring. So it was great to be part of that process. When the Wiz came to DC, I was able to bring over 200 young people in the DMV to come and see the show, to meet the cast, have a talk back through my nonprofit. So that has been so fulfilling, and like in a different way, also just getting a lot of young people engaged. And the Wiz was my first musical that I was in. when I was a teenager. So to come full circle to be part of this production has been so fulfilling. And then, I mean, just to see like the kids in New York, like buses of people coming up, wearing their costumes, and again, just a different reimagining of this show for a new generation. Amber Ruffin rewrote part of the script, so it's more contemporary. There's jokes that our generation can relate to, and then just the Afrofuturism that is elevated and celebrated through this version is just so beautiful.
What do you want people to know about Marjuan Canady?
That's a great question. Uh, um, what do I want people to know about me? I mean, I am a storyteller. I am a creative who believes in further championing Black and Brown stories in theater, film, in media, and telling stories authentically from our own voices. I think the more that I've worked in these commercial spaces in the last couple of years, I've seen how even more so important it is to have Black producers, Black women producers, Black investors, to understand business, to build teams. I think in our industry, we talk so much about diversity and equity um, on stage, but it really is rooted in who's leading these productions. So I think a big part of me, I'm championing um, more Black women producers to get into these fields, to start their own
Really quick
companies. Mm-hmm.
on that part, I wanna just for a second pull that piece out. So championing more women to become investors. I love that. I talked about accredited investors at the top of the show. And so if someone is interested, because I know you send me the things and I'm like, dang, I'm gonna get into one of these. And I always send it to my pools of investors. And they're like, I'm thinking about this one. Okay, I'm gonna try this one. And so I'm so excited to always do that. Totally keep me on the list. Where should people go? Or where should they follow you or contact you via form if they're interested, if they are investors out there or they're interested in investing in one of the plays?
Yeah, you can definitely find me on my website, www.marjuancanady.com, Marjuan Canady, Canady.com. And you just fill out the contact form, shoot me a message. Unfortunately, like we're not allowed to publicly
Right. You
announce
can't,
who's
yeah, can't publicly
investments.
announce. That's right.
Yeah, and
That's
like
not
these
how raising
projects.
works.
Right. But if you are interested, like I have a lot of TV, film opportunities coming up. I'm branching out more into that space in the next year. So also in the immersive space. So if you are interested, you can find me online on my website. Just shoot me a message on my contact form. Also, I'm on all social media. So, shoot me a DM and we can chat more. I think, having more investors. I mean, in the Broadway theater space, everything is run by how we finance these shows. So the more investors we see that want to see more work like Hell's Kitchen or Wiz, um, that's how the industry will bend. It's about people putting their money where their vision is, where their heart is, to build these productions. So yeah, definitely reach out if you want to work with me and invest in not only these commercial productions, but also a lot of the work that I'm building as well, my original work.
100%. Thank you so much for joining me, Marjuan. I really appreciate you and rooting for you. Always watching your journey. Excited to see you grow. We got to take a quick break. When we come back, I'm going to play some of the clip from Karen Donaldson so you can make sure you're ready for this Thursday's presidential debate. You listen to Urban View Mornings. I'm Omi Bell. We'll be right back.